Hey, it's Kim Commando today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to commando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it. I always like to start with something interesting, and this is a little lesson about how to use a certain word from the tech world. Well, I don't know if it's really the tech world as much as the gaming world in a sentence. So say there's someone in your life, they're not pulling his or her share. They're kind of a dud, or maybe they're just not that bright, or dare I say, a loser. That's right. But instead of saying all that, you would just now say, wow, that person is an NPC. Yes, there's no need to add an adjective like that person is a total NPC. You just say NPC. And in case you're wondering what NPC stands for, it comes from video gaming. It's called a non-player character. And this is any character in the game that is not controlled by a player. You've seen them. Like maybe they're just folks that are just walking down the street. Those are NPCs. They're not doing a thing. You see, sometimes good things really do come from video games. And now many games have this beautiful orchestral music scores. But maybe the critics are right. Maybe there's just way too much violins in video games. Yes. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to yet another fantastic hour of the Kim Commando Show. It's your most trusted source about all things digital, and it's the largest show about all things digital. You can find us on over 425 top stations throughout the United States. And then, of course, we're streaming in your favorite radio app. Just search for Commando. And you can find us streaming as a webcast, as a podcast, commercial-free, all 3 hours. You get tons of archives, too, over at getkim.com. And also brand new Monday through Friday, you can get Kim Commando Today. So wherever you get your podcasts, just search for Kim Commando Today. And a special thank you goes out to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio, serving more than 375,000 American servicemen and women in 175 countries and 200 ships at sea. I just love that. Get the Kim Commando Show. Actually had the opportunity to tour a Coast Guard vessel this past week. Really, really phenomenal. Those guys and gals, what they're doing there. All right, let's start with 5 things that you need to know about tech. It's happening right now, and I combed through all the headlines to just narrow it down to these top 5 stories. And we're going to start with going back in time to December 7th, 2020. That was the day that the FCC awarded Elon Musk's company, SpaceX, $900 million in federal subsidies so that this way we could give internet access to everybody who lives in the rural communities throughout the United States, and he would be doing this with his Starlink internet service. Okay, Starlink is just doing a fabulous job getting internet access all throughout the United States and really around the world. They're using it big time in the Ukraine right now. And there are approximately 2,200 Starlink satellites in orbit providing this internet access. And as long as you have a view of the night sky, you can get Starlink. It's $600 for the equipment, about $110 a month. Now, the reason why I bring this all up is that the Biden administration announced they're going to be giving $400 million to get high-speed internet access using fiber lines into rural communities that will reach, are you ready for this? 31,000 families. Okay. So we have roughly spent, that we know of, $1.2 billion to bring internet service to 31,000 families that live in rural communities. It works out to be $42,000 per family. They can all use Starlink. Why are we giving them $400 million for fiber lines? Okay, if they don't already have Starlink by the time they put in the fiber lines, the Starlink will be there. We've already given them the money. Ugh. And you thought the government spent too much money on toilets. This is your tax dollars at work, ladies and gentlemen. Talk about NPCs. Wow. All right, number 2 on our list. Oh, Joe, give me some credit. Okay, I think that Joe Rogan must listen to my radio show because it was back on June 30th, a full month ago, that I told all of you that if TikTok is on your smartphone, you need to remove it. Let me review the facts with you. FCC Commissioner Brandon Carr, he was actually the guy who came out and said, hey, Google, hey, Apple, we need you to remove TikTok from your app stores. Now, you have to know that TikTok is the most popular app among teens and 20-somethings. And it's not just simply an app for sharing funny videos or life hacks. TikTok is actually a sophisticated surveillance tool to harvest all your data. It's owned by a Beijing company by the name of ByteDance, which is required by Chinese law to comply with the Communist surveillance demands. And so, really, what this all means, bottom lining it, is that China is getting your entire search history, your browsing history, your phone's ID, your facial ID, your voice print, your text messages, your locations, your photos, your videos, anything that you type in your phone. Basically, it's being sent to China. And the software has circumvented all attempts to block its collection methods, and no other popular software is spying like this, not even Facebook. So, Joe, next time you issue a warning that I did like 30 days ago, rather, just call me. I'm so happy to come on your podcast and talk about it with everyone who listens to you. It'd actually be an honor to do that. I think we're both in the National Radio Hall of Fame. And if you happen to be a Joe Rogan fan, why don't you reach out and tell him, hey, have Kim Commando on your show. Number 3 in our list of 5 things, if you can't buy them, let's copy them. With everybody talking about TikTok, Facebook is feeling really old. It's still huge. 3 billion folks log in every single month, and that does not include Instagram. So Facebook is starting to make some changes and make it easier for you to control what's in your feed, get posts from people who you actually care about. And now Instagram is starting to add a lot more stories that they are calling Reels. And they're pushing these out to your feeds because Instagram says, hey, we're just not like this photo posting platform anymore. We want to become like your source for all things video too. So now we have some big time celebrities that other Kim, not me, not Kim Commando, I'm talking about Kim Kardashian and Kylie Jenner. They have these massive Instagram followings. They posted a note to say that this is what they said: make Instagram again and stop trying to be TikTok. I just want to see cute photos of my friends. Okay. It's all about the money train, okay? It's not so much that they want to see cute photos of their friends because they really don't really do that. These are big businesses. You don't get to be a major influencer like Kim Kardashian or Kylie Jenner without a whole bunch of lawyers and managers and business development types and everybody else around you. But bottom line is, look for some changes in your Facebook and Instagram feeds as Mark Zuckerberg wants us all to just follow him into the metaverse. And I have a quick question for you. What do you think Mark Zuckerberg's favorite game to play was when he was a child? What was his favorite childhood game? I Spy. That's what it was. Thank you. And number 4 on our list is only DJs should use Wikipedia. That's right. Wikipedia calls itself the internet's official encyclopedia, and that's all well and good. But can you really trust what you read there? The problem is that anybody can edit a Wikipedia entry at any single time. And so, like, for example, in an article called List of Serial Killers by the Number of Victims, there was actually a big note at the top that said, this list is incomplete. Please do not try to expand the list by killing people. Nice. Under Charlie Sheen, there was an entry that said, Charlie Sheen is half man and half cocaine. Okay. This is all in the Wikipedia. Okay. The Batman entry was the funniest one ever. Somebody actually edited the Wikipedia entry for Batman and put at the top, na 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 Batman. So yes, so that was good. And the reason why I bring this up is that many colleges and universities, public, private schools, they prohibit the kids from using Wikipedia as a source for research papers and essays and assignments. Because once again, as I said, anybody can edit a Wikipedia entry. Anybody. Which leads me to this really interesting study that I found where MIT discovered that Wikipedia is influencing legal decisions of judges when there are articles covering relevant cases. Okay. They found that when there was a Wikipedia page about a similar case, judges were citing these pages 20% of the time in their rulings. 20% of the time, the judges say, well, in Wikipedia, I saw a case that actually said, yeah, this. Okay. Even 1% is too much because the Wikipedia article could have a lot of inaccurate facts. There's also the possibility of malicious actors putting up bogus Wikipedia pages to skew a trial's outcome. But here are 2 more Wikipedia articles that were just hilarious. Okay. Under Muppet Babies, the movie and the show, somebody put this in. The show portrays zombie versions of the Muppets living together in a nursery under the care of a woman called Nanny who unleashes them out on an unwitting public to devour their flesh. Okay. And how about this one? A lunar eclipse. Now, think about everything you know about a lunar eclipse. Now, this is in Wikipedia. They call it the official Internet Encyclopedia. Okay. This is how they define a lunar eclipse. A lunar eclipse is when the moon turns black and explodes, releasing a poisonous gas, killing all of humanity. Okay. Ah, crazy kids. All right, finally, coming in at number 5, this case is not closed, right? The debate has been going on since the beginning of the pandemic. Is it really, truly necessary to put a case on your phone? I mean, do you put a case on your phone so that it looks better? Or do you want to protect it from when you drop it? Because let's face it, replacing that glass in the beginning was a very, very expensive, and the glass wasn't as good as it is right now. So, to help solve this debate, Apple is releasing a new ad. You have to picture this. An iPhone 13 is just lying on the table. The phone rings, and as it does, it vibrates. And as the phone's vibrating, it begins to move. And so the phone's ringing and vibrating, and then it's moving closer and closer and closer to the edge of the table until you just know it's going to happen. The phone falls to the ground, but in a surprise twist, when it's on the ground, the phone is still vibrating and ringing. Now, this subtlety tells all of us that despite not having a case on an iPhone 13, the phone is still fully operational. So Apple is telling us that cases are a complete waste of money. I mean, have you ever seen Tom Cook or any other Apple executive in one of their big time conventions and product announcements ever having a case on their phone? Absolutely not. No, with a big capital N. But I have to tell you, I really do believe, I mean, I like a case on my iPhone. And I really do think that it helped my case and my phone rather from shattering all that glass. I mean, talk about having a best case scenario. All right, coming up, we have how to use your phone or tablet as your television's remote control to get all that clutter off the coffee table. We've got a couple of apps that will help you digitize your physical photos. And then we're going to talk about the best free Windows and Mac security downloads for your computer and how to get more disk space. And I have an ad scam warning to tell you about. And of course, we have all of your phone calls here on the Kim Komando Show.
Forget the pressure to be crushing your workout on day one. Just starting is what matters. Wherever you're beginning and wherever you want to be, start moving with Peloton Bike, Bike Plus, Tread, Row, Guide, or app. With thousands of classes and over 50 Peloton instructors ready to support you from day one. Remember, doing something is everything. Get started with a Peloton Bike or Bike Plus rental at onepeloton.ca/bike/rentals. All access membership separate. Terms apply.
Hey, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're just a little too shy to come on a national radio show and a big-time podcast, I still would love to hear from you. You can drop me your question. Just head over to the website. That's Komando with a K, of course, KOMANDO.com. And in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says Email Kim. And I read every single note that you send me. Again, that's KOMANDO.com. Coming up in just a few moments, how to use your TV, how to get rid of that TV remote control, use your phone or tablet, rather. And how about we start with Aileen in Johns Creek, Georgia. Hello there, Aileen.
Hi, Kim. Well, I sent a message to you a couple of weeks ago. I do a lot of reading, and it just amazes me that some of these books have so many misspelled errors and grammar, and I think to myself, how do they ever get published with these? I mean, some are bad and some are not so bad. So I thought I would sit at my computer and see if I could do proofreading from home.
Oh, nice.
And I Googled it, and I got a lot of different websites to choose from. And I'm thinking, oh, man, which one do I choose? What's legitimate? So I thought of you. I thought, I bet Kim Komando could help me.
Well, you did. You came to the right place, Aileen. Because, all right, so you want to be a professional proofreader, which I think is really fabulous. You've got a couple of ways to do this. Is that there's a website called Upwork. I don't know if you've ever checked it out, but it's where if you have a certain skill, is that you put your picture up and you say you're a proofreader where you're located. And then you could say, hey, let's work together to put your best foot forward. And I'm a professional proofreader and I charge anywhere. The going rate for a proofreader is anywhere between like $35 an hour to $45 or maybe even $50 an hour. If you've got a lot of credentials, like you've done this for major book publications and things like that. There's also full-time jobs as proofreaders, believe it or not. If you go over to LinkedIn.com/jobs, that's where you'll find that you could be a professional proofreader, copy editor. just know that this is truly a full-time job. So it's not like, well, I
Hmm.
just want to work when I want to work and when I'm not going out in my garden.
Right.
No, that's not really going to work. And
Yeah, and I'm retired, so I don't want full time.
no, you don't want that. But the retired, but it's interesting that you can do this. And what I like about LinkedIn Jobs is that if you ever, are looking for a full-time gig, you want to come out of retirement, is that it tells you like what
Hmm.
other qualifications people have had when they are
Hmm.
applying for these jobs. But you're going to need to work with like some metric platforms and all kinds of things like that. So bottom line here is that what we're going to do is
Right.
you're gonna head over to Upwork.com. And it's a fabulous website. And by the way, just to let everybody know, they're not a sponsor show or anything like that. I just think it's a really great site. And with Upwork, you can list your qualifications. And then when people want jobs or want proofreaders, they know to go there. And then, heck, maybe they're going to hire you. And then you'll be able to start getting some great reviews and then get some momentum and things like that. So you might want to start out at like $30 an hour. And then as you start getting more cred on the site and some more experiences, that maybe you can up that. Thank you so much for your call today, Aileen. Let's talk about using your phone or your tablet as a remote control. It makes perfect sense. Smart TVs like LG, Sony, Samsung, and others, they have free apps that work with your TVs, and Google's TV Remote works with Android-based TVs. Apple's TV app works with Apple TVs, and Roku and the rest, they have apps too. So if you're sitting there and you're saying, like, I'm tired of all these different remotes, start looking at some apps to take over all that stuff. Hey, stay right where you are. We have a lot of things coming up, including some free Mac and Windows downloads you don't want to miss. How'd you like to hear about how I saved $456 in just 5 minutes? I used an app called Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Can you remember all the free trials and all the other random subscriptions that you've signed up for? Of course you don't, and that's what they're banking on. I love that with Rocket Money, I can see all of my subscriptions in one place. Then if I see something I don't want, I just tap to cancel, and I never have to get on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year, with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things that you just don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim. All right, coming up in just a few moments, I have the best free Windows and Mac security downloads for your computer. This is just a fantastic list. And then we're going to talk about how you can get more disk space back, whether you're using Windows or Mac. And then later on, there's a new ad scam warning I need to tell you about. And before we get to all of your phone calls, go back to your great phone calls, rather. If you have some old photos laying around and you want to digitize them and bring them into today's century, there's an app that I need to tell about. Actually, two apps. One is Google's Photo Scan. It's free for iOS and Android. You've heard me talk about it a few times. But what I like about it is that it scans your photos multiple times and stitches all the images together. It removes glare, improves the quality of the final image. And it works on matte, gloss prints, even photos inside your albums, outside your albums, in photo frames. It's really great. And then Microsoft Lens. We don't talk very much about that, but this is actually a good product as well. It's more of a business-oriented scanning app, and it's actually free, but it works with documents, whiteboards, business cards, receipts, menus, signs, handwritten memos, anything else containing text that you want to import into your PC, phone, whatever. It certainly beats typing everything by hand. It also works with photos and will automatically correct things like shadows and some odd angles. We have links to both of these over at the website. Just search for the title of the post is Apps That Digitize Your Physical Photos and Negatives. And let's see, back to the phones we go with Brad in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Hi there, Brad.
How are you?
I'm fantastic. What's going on and how can I lend a hand to you?
Well, I'm going to be taking a trip to Australia in October, and I run my business through a cell phone. So I'm trying to figure out how I can take calls while I'm in Australia and make my cell phone work. U.S. Cellular doesn't seem to have much to offer as far as a solution.
I see. So you're using U.S. Cellular. What kind of phone do you have?
It's an Android Galaxy S20 FE.
Okay. All right. There's a couple of things you can do. What's really great, but your phone doesn't offer it, womp womp, is that if you could use what's called an eSIM card. And so a lot of from today's newer phones, like if you had a newer Pixel, a newer Samsung Galaxy, a higher model of Galaxy rather, an iPhone, anything from SE forward, is that you can get what's called an eSIM card. It's like an electronic SIM card. So your phone, you can make your phone think that it was in Australia. And so you'd be using, their lines and their data. But that's not really what I think would be even the best solution, even though it doesn't work. If I was running my business off of my phone and I was going to be in Australia, how long are you going to be there?
About 3 weeks.
Okay, that's a long time. What I would do is I would set up a Google Voice account. Okay. And with a Google Voice account, you get a different number. And then with the Google Voice account, you could have all of your you could forward your existing phone number to the Google Voice account. And then when you're in Australia or on Wi-Fi, is that you could use that Google Voice number to make outgoing phone calls. There is a little bit of charge for international calls. But what I like about Google Voice, especially there's this huge time difference between Australia and Cedar Rapids, right? And
Yes.
so you don't want to be getting phone calls when it's, 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Cedar Rapids and it's 2 o'clock in the morning in Australia or vice versa. So with Google Voice, when a customer would call you on that Google Voice number, or your phone's being forwarded to that, is that you can you can say, hey, I'm in Australia, or I'll get back to you as soon as I can, but that voicemail is going to be is automatically going to be translated and sent to your email. You could also set up different type of prompts for your business. So press 1 to to check on your invoices, check to, whatever. I don't know what your business is, but you could set up some type of phone tree that may lessen the amount of time that you actually have to be on the phone. And then you can, like I said, you can listen to the voicemails, you can respond to the voicemails, and even get text messages that way. That barring that, if you don't want to go through all that hassle, then you need to buy a phone or get a phone that will allow you to put in a different SIM card or use an eSIM number. And we have a great tip that we just wrote all about this, Brad, that will walk you through step-by-step detail. Like the 3 networks in Australia, I think it's like Telstra, Optus, and Vodafone are the ones that are really big there. But how you can use your existing number. It's unfortunate that U.S. Cellular, I know it's probably the only company, I'm sure there are a few others here in the United States, cellular companies that don't allow you to really have a good international plan. I think the U.S. Cellular, it's like, I don't know, I think they give you 30 minutes in 30 days or something like that, which is just unreasonable if you're going to be vacationing even, or just running your business is kind of nutso on that. So anyway, we just recently posted a whole tip about how you can take your number with you, like the different options that I just mentioned as far as SIM versus SIM card, how you can buy the SIM cards, how you use them. With the eSIM card, it's just basically you take a picture of a QR code and it's totally there. With a SIM card, you actually have to have a physical card. Where do you buy these cards? How do you charge them up if you run out? Most of the time, you're going to do it inside of a convenience store, supermarket, or something like that, or even just like they still have newspaper stands in some places. So anyway, I'm going to post this tip in our Q&A forum over inside the Commando community. And then, Brad, we're going to send you that tip directly. So make sure that we get Brad's email address. All right. Every once in a while, I have to tell you, we do a digital privacy tip that I'd say is primo. Probably one of the best ones we've done in a long time is coming at you right now. I'm talking about the best free Windows, Mac, and security downloads for your computer. So like, for example, number 1 on our list is you can stop unwanted devices on your network with something called Angry IP Scanner. It tracks everything, scans your network for IP addresses and what's connected to your network. It's useful for troubleshooting like some tech issues with your network and catching hackers because it pinpoints these unknown or suspicious devices on your network. Number 2 on our list is a free firewall that detects malware from people that are trying to access your computer from afar. It's called Glasswire. If you have a Mac, we're going to point you in the direction of NetData. Number 3, this This is fabulous, especially for those of you who are trying to help your folks, your grandparents with their computer issues, and you're like, it's so frustrating to try to do over the phone or even FaceTime. What you need is remote access software that lets you connect to any PC. And that's when we recommend TeamViewer. Number 4 on our list, let's say you need to send a whole bunch of personal documents over email. You're just not going to attach them to an email. Please, you're smarter than that. You want to use something called 7-Zip, and it will compress all the important files into an encrypted folder that you protect with a password. Number 5 on our list is, let's say you go to a website and it's not secure. Well, that means your data could be seen by anyone. And so that's where you want to use a browser extension that will switch sites that aren't secure to sites that are secure. And that's HTTPS everywhere. Next on our list is GhostPress. This is an anti-key logging software that will stop malicious software from capturing everything that you press on your keyboard. So as you can see, each one of these downloads, fantastic, valuable, you're going to use time and time again. So I know you're sitting there saying, hey, how do I get these? Well, silly goose, you go over to the website, of course. That's komando.com. And then there's a link that says Kim Show. Just click that, and we put all those handy-dandy links right there for you, so this way you don't have to waste time scanning the website. Coming up in just a few moments, we have more of your phone calls. We're going to talk about how you can get more disk space back on your Mac. And also, there's a malware campaign I have to tell you more about here on The Kim Komando Show. How'd you like to hear about how I saved $456 in just 5 minutes? I used an app called Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Can you remember all the free trials and all the other random subscriptions that you've signed up for? Of course you don't, and that's what they're banking on. I love that with Rocket Money, I can see all of my subscriptions in one place. Then if I see something I don't want, I just tap to cancel, and I never have to get on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year, with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things that you just don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim. Hey, if you haven't already gotten your free Windows or Mac guide, what are you waiting for? Do it right now. It's our special thank you as a listener here to the Kim Komando Show. Just head over to komando.com/free guides, and we're going to help you take your tech know-how to the next level. We've got some search tricks, keyboard shortcuts, some quick photo editing tips without downloading any extra programs, messaging shortcuts, and some more free downloads for your Windows or Mac. So again, that's komando.com/free guides, komando.com/free guides. Let's see. Speaking of your Windows or Mac, before we go back to your phone calls, have you ever wondered where all the storage space has gone on your Windows PC or Mac? What happened to all of it? Well, here's a pro secret that will show you. First, let's talk a little bit about managing disk space in Windows. You're going to be clicking on settings and then system and storage, and then you see how much space you have left. Now, here's a pro tip. Click Show More Categories. Yes, that's where the magic happens. You get a detailed report, and then they have something called Storage Sense on your Windows. This lets the operating system automatically free up space by deleting unnecessary files. Now, if you're on a Mac, you're like, Kim, what about us? Well, from the Apple menu in the corner of the screen, choose About This Mac. Then you're going to have storage. You get several categories. But here's where the magic sauce is. Manage. Click that, and you have an option called Reduce Clutter. Yes, you're going to love that. That's where you're going to find files that can be deleted. And like magic, you have more space for your photos, your videos, and games without having to, actually go out and, buy a new hard drive. Patrick in Atlanta, Georgia. Hello there, Patrick.
Hello. Kim, I've got a Dell computer that I had given to my dad, and it was every other week he was asking me to come over and make it run faster or something. And he finally got on with the Geek Squad. And anyway, they couldn't fix it. And I just got on there, and then I Googled, and I found a utility that Dell has, and it says the hard drive is bad. And then they gave me a code, and came up with gave me a price. And I've never changed out a hard drive. I don't think it's all that difficult, but I don't know. I'm paranoid about losing a file that I'll probably never. I don't even know I have it, but so when I take that hard drive out and I put the new hard drive in, do I just shelve that, or what comes on that new hard drive? And do I have to buy a Dell, or can I buy a generic?
You can. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to buy a Dell drive. You can buy a generic drive. I mean, that's not a big deal. But there are certain things, some certain benchmarks that we're going to want to make sure as far as the RPMs, and you're going to have if it's an older hard drive, but also some of the other specs that should be there. It's probably going to house a 2.5-inch SSD, right? But if you go to Dell's website and if you look up the serial number on their website, it'll tell you what type of hard drive that it actually has. But you're right. You do actually. I mean, if you can clone the drive so you don't lose anything, and it's really not that hard to do. You can clone the current disk. Just use a certain cable, a USB to SATA cable. They're relatively inexpensive. And then there are some free programs. John, our IT genius, he always recommends Macrium Reflect, or he says for the brave, Clonezilla. And so let me do this. Let me give you a couple of links, and let me find a video tutorial for you, okay, Patrick, about how to replace the hard drive. And so this way you can see it actually happen step by step. And inside our Commando community, so if you go to commando.com/community, on the left-hand side, there's a button that says Q&A forum. And we haven't really been talking about this too much, but if you have like a technical question like this, Patrick, that is kind of hard to go over on a national radio show, big time podcast, is that inside the Commando community that's where we can help you with these step-by-step instructions and give you some links to some video tutorials. And it's absolutely free. So you can try it out for free. You can use it for free, and I think for up to 90 days. And so if you have any really techie questions like this that do require a lot of step-by-step and walking you through some of the processes, I certainly always want to help you. And I can do it inside the Commando community. And right now, as I mentioned, it's free. So, Patrick, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post some links for you, some video tutorials, and they will be inside the Commando community. So how do you get there? Commando.com/community, and the Q&A forum be on the left-hand side. Trust me, Patrick, you can do this. But you might want to think about getting your dad like an iPad or a tablet. If he doesn't really need a computer, it just makes life a lot easier for you and for him and for anybody who's trying to support it, because it's just, sometimes it can be a little rough. Patrick, thank you so much for your call. Bruce in Reno, Nevada. Hi there, Bruce.
Hello, Kim. I listen to your show a lot, and I have to say we're all so blessed to have you to answer our questions. I come from the age of mapping hard drives.
Oh, okay.
It's really nice to have you.
Well, thank you. I know. I was just trying to explain this to Patrick about hard drives. It's funny you should say that. Well, thank you. So how can I lend a hand?
Well, I've got a website that I no longer use, and I wanted to get some recommendations on the best way to sell it.
Okay. Well, there are different ways that you can sell a domain. And what you can first do is go to a website. It's called NameBio, and that's NameBio. And it'll give you some idea of what that name may be worth. Now, keep in mind, it's kind of like saying, how much is a painting worth, right? It's a lot of it is up to what the person sees and what the value is. But a lot of these analyzers, Bruce, that say like how much a domain is worth, it's really looking at how many pointers is coming into it and how much traffic it generates. Okay. We use a company called Afternic, and that's afternic.com, Afternic. And basically you're going to give them your domain, and they're going to put it through all the resellers, because you don't want to get really in the domain name selling business, because it can get kind of complicated, and it's definitely worth the fees that they charge. It's very nominal. And so you're going to sign up with this service and tell them, and you can give them a baseline, like I want to get at least X, Y, or Z, but you can come between these prices. So that's why it's a good idea for you to get a feel for how much the domain name is worth. And then contact Afternic, and that's afternic.com. and then just let them go ahead and do it. Now, keep in mind, really, the big domain names, if they don't have numbers, they're worth more. If it's one word, it's worth more. If it's two words, it's worth more than that. It's not worth as much, rather. And a lot of these big domain name sales, they aren't really going like they used to in the past. But check it out if you have any questions afterwards, Bruce, and let us know how much you get. I'm so excited for you. I mean, maybe you got like $10 million sitting right there on a domain and you're ready to turn it over. Thank you so much for your call. Probably the worst thing you can do is go to Google and start searching for tech support numbers, because then I'm telling you, you're going to end up at a bad place. If you need tech support numbers, we have them listed, the popular ones, over on the website at commando.com. Hey, stay right where you are. We have another jam-packed, fun-filled hour of the Kim Komando Show that you never want to miss here on the Westar Multimedia Network. Hey, thanks for listening to Kim Komando today. So reach over and give me a nice 5-star review. Yes, thank you. And thanks for listening.